we have to talk about the BMW G80 because it's a great car. Let's start off by saying that. It's a phenomenal car. But I think the G80 is the new Mustang. I'm gonna say it. Because here's the thing. These cars are spinning out left and right, leaving these meets. Is it a car issue? Is it a skill issue? I don't know. I think they're phenomenal cars. For those of you who don't know, those of you who live under a rock, the G80 is a car that really took the car scene by storm. And mainly because at the time, the car looked funny. Flat out, they went for these new big grills, these sort of big pig nose grills. And obviously, my opinion, when I first saw it, I knew there had to be some sort of function to it, right? Whether it be more air, radars, there was a necessity to have these massive grills in front. But the internet went crazy. They didn't really like it. But the thing is that once people were able to drive the car and experience the car, everybody kind of changed their tune. And to my knowledge, the car drives incredibly well. It's lightning fast. And depending on what angle you see the car from, you might love it, you might hate it, whatever, right? It reminds me of the Supra. When the new Supra came out, some people hated it, some people loved it. Naturally, it grows on to people, right, as time goes on. One thing that I will say is when designing a car, it's like anything else. You have to think those designers have been looking at that car for months to years on end, right? So to them, there's been this progression of what it used to look like and how far the car has come, and they're able to appreciate the little nuances of what makes the car special, right? And it's not until the car has been out for some time is when the general public gets to appreciate these things. I've always thought that the rear of the car looked incredible, right? Classic BMW, a nice edge to it, if you will. The side profile of the car is beautiful, right? Whether it be the 4-door or the 2-door, they're both good looking cars. But the front, you kind of lose people, which is surprising because the non-M version of the car, the 335i, 330, whatever they call it, is, to me, looks great. If you throw the M headlights with the 330 bumper, I think you have a match made in heaven. But with that being said, if you're just getting into cars and you're just starting to learn cars and you like them, a lot of people would judge you if you don't know the exact spec, chassis, model, engine, what makes that car, right? But don't worry, I'm here to explain these things to you to, make it a little easier so you may not be as embarrassed when it comes to these things. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm okay with raising my hand and being like, yo, what's the difference between the M3 and the M4, right? What's the difference between the B58 and the S55 or S58, right? All these different things. Don't be afraid to ask, right? There's gonna be, of course, gonna be jerks that look down on you because you don't know the paint code of the car. But hey, if we don't ask, we don't learn. And that's why I'm here to help. The M3 and the M4, the G80, is going to be the latest generation of BMW's 3 Series, right? 3 Series is iconic because it has just been sort of the staple, the backbone of BMW, right? Not only when it comes to the consumer or the car enthusiast, but also it has a strong racing heritage, right? I'm a Mercedes guy, but the E30 was whooping Mercedes ass in the 90s, right? The DTM racing, I love the 190E, I love the Evo 2, the Evo 1, but the reality is at that time, the M3 was just unstoppable, right? So another thing too is a lot of these cars are popular because they're like street performance cars, but a lot of the reason why these cars are popular is because they perform very well when it comes to racing. So there's a lot of, once again, for those of you who are just sort of new to the space or just never really asked the questions or put 2 and 2 together, the reason why a lot of street model cars are very popular is because of the racing equivalent to that car. There's this thing called homologation, right? And I'm just shooting from the hip here, but essentially what homologation is that when you're going to race in a specific league, tournament, series, there are cars that are homologated and non-homologated. Homologated cars is basically saying that there is a version of this car that is street legal. Let's keep it simple, right? Because we're on BMW. Let's call it the E30, right? The E30 was a homologated car because it had a race car and then it had a street version, right? And there's like a minimum units. I think it could be as low as 25 and up to a certain amount, right? But that's what homologation is. There was this concept back in the day. We don't really say it that much, we don't say it that often as much anymore, but there was this sort of tagline that was like, race on Sunday, sell on Monday. And that was basically, you win the race on the weekend, and then boom, everybody goes and buys that car on Monday, right? So if you have an awesome car, win the race, people want that car because of what it can do, and then you have this demand for sports cars, right? So that's a little background history with tail end of what that is and what that means. The G80 is BMW's latest and greatest homologated car. They have a badass race car version of this car, which I think looks incredible. And with that, you also get the street race car drivers. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. This is one of the last real badass combustion engine cars that we've seen, right? And going back to, it's manual, it's a 3-liter V6, or inline 6, sorry. And it's an overall animal of a car. And that kind of leads us to what we're talking about today. I'm gonna say it, I think the G80 is the new Mustang. I think it's too much power for these drivers. I'm gonna say it. Because if you really think about it, you have so many things assisting you. You have a 4-wheel drive, most of them are gonna be automatic, even if it is manual, and you still have these cats spinning out in hidden crowds and hitting trees, leaving these car meets. So, and look, this is a beautiful car. The rear is amazing. The front takes some getting used to, but it's indistinguishable from a design perspective. I think the headlights are sick. The car looks good in so many colors. Beautiful green, I think it's like Aventura green. Has it and then doesn't. Boom. Look at knocking out city street lights, knocking out. We got BMWs knocking out city infrastructure. And then there's one that's super ironic. Look at this one. I remember seeing this one when it first happened. And look at, you're driving, he probably feeling himself, holds down the pedal, and just spins out. Is that a car issue? Is it a skill issue? Is it just too much power? It's simply, you see it? He probably boom, and gone. Just destroying cities. This one's ironic because look at the Mustang in front. Beautiful blue. Has it, lost it, has it, boom. Let's not forget, these cars are not cheap. They are like, the cheapest one I can imagine you can find is maybe 65 grand. Let's go look. And because I really like Doug DeMuro and a couple of the people over at Cars and Bids, we're gonna use them to give us an idea of how much this car costs. So a couple of these are ending soon, but we have this Competition Sport, that one still has a day left. Let's go to recently ended. Competition Sport went for 111 grand. This is a little more what you'd see on the street, 6-speed manual, 600 miles, $71,000. 75K, 70K, 78. These are going for like 70, consistently $70,000 used. Brand new, I'm guessing these cars are probably can be well over 85 to 90 grand. 80K, that's the M comp though. So this one's 60K. You get the point. These cars are not cheap. So the fact that these people are wrecking them, let's not forget how sick of a feeling that is, right? But the reality is, I want to know what you think. Do you think the G80 is just too much car? Do you think that it's a skill issue with the driver? Or do you think that it's simply just too much power in the vehicle? I want to know what you think. But we can't deny that this is the first time in a long time where we have seen cars just spiraling out of control. The only difference is we haven't seen it take out a crowd yet, right? Which is good for everybody, the spectators that attend these shows. But people dragged Mustang through the mud for years. Even to this day, called them crowd killers. I like Mustangs. I really like the GT 350. I like the GT 500. But the thing is that there's such a sort of stain on the reputation of the car because it has so much power and that rear kicks out and you're going all over. You're just swinging out, falling into crowds, hitting trees, taking out city street lights, just terrorizing America, right? But here's the thing. The G80 is doing the same thing, and not a lot of people are talking about it. So my question to you is the G80 the new Mustang? Or can we just acknowledge that Mustang, Ford, back in the day, gave us an incredible car and we took it for granted because of a couple of viral videos, right? So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to the next video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And until next time, peace.